I'm Mia, and it's been an interesting few days. But I'm not gonna dilly-dally because I don't have that much of a plan. I'm just gonna do a neutral with the funky shimmer and some liner. But it's also, it looks like I'm burned. But I'm gonna not hit myself in the head with this. I'm gonna start off with the Lunar Beauty Nude Prism palette, and I'm gonna take a mix of I'm Shy and Vibes, and I'm gonna start to lay that all right here and wing it out a little because I do like a slightly winged out look. Blown out. But no, it is Tuesday, February 10th. Now you may be going, hey, I thought you usually do. You film on Mondays. I'm like, and your answer would be correct. I do usually film on Mondays. Yesterday, I was supposed to open and only stay until 12 because my manager's like, oh, I have an interview with corporate, blah, blah, blah. I just want to make sure that I have my full undivided attention on them. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And that's fine. I'm like, it's only a couple hours, whatever. 10 minutes before the interview was supposed to be, the guy that she was interviewing with was like, oh my god, can we push this back until 2 o'clock? So I was stuck there until 3, and then the train was a little delayed getting home. So I'm like, you know what, I'm not even gonna bother. Because I'm like, I'm just so fed up with the world. And blah, blah, blah. But, on that note, her and I did start to talk about me possibly becoming assistant manager. And then on a little denser brush, I'm just going to take some of the shade Classic. I'm going to start to right there. But because what she's interviewing for is assistant district manager, which is really funny because like 3 weeks ago she was like, oh my god, I could never. She's like, I don't want to be anything higher than this because she's like, I don't want the responsibility. But essentially she would just be overseeing the Boston locations and then an additional location. So she's like, well, she's like, I'd have to start hiring blah 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 for like for someone to be here. I'm like, well, I'm like, if you pay for my serve safe, and I'm like, and you can guarantee that I won't be moved to a new store. So we were talking about that. This is just the original brush. I'm just gonna do a little bit of Vibes mixed with teas. She's like, why? She's like, why don't you want it? I'm like, well, I know the whole point is that eventually be switched to a different store and run that store, but I'm like, I like my location, I like my commute. She's like, yeah, that's how it originally was, but now all stores are gonna have to have MITs, so even if she doesn't get the job, she's still gonna need to hire somebody. She's like, I'd rather, do that from here. She's like, the only thing is that you'd have to do a close. I'm like, well, do I have to do a close if we don't have the staff to do open-ins? She's like, you know what, so true. Apparently the closing I'm required to do is only until 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So I'm like, I can get home that way. That's not a big deal. So we started to talk about that, and she's gonna send me some stuff throughout the week, like what it entails and stuff. I'm like, I've looked at the listing on our website, like I've done all of that stuff, and I do all of that stuff. And this is from NYX Professional Makeup. This is just the glitter glue, glitter primer, whatever we want to call her. So yeah, just a little bit of that. Because she's like, and she was saying that when the district manager asked, was like, oh, is there anybody that you'd think? She's like, me is the only one, but she wouldn't do it. I'm like, well, if you can guarantee that I don't need to like close, and I can just help with the close-in process. And again, if we don't, because it would have to be, she said 2, but I'm like, if we don't have the people to cover my opening shifts, don't you think they'd maybe make an exception? She's like, yeah, you're right. And then all of the shadows in this palette are from Terra Moon's Cosmetics. I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which is called Twinkle Dust. It is my favorite shimmer, especially to put on a neutral eye. It just gives it a little bit of ha. But oh, I need to stop answering the phones like right before I leave, because a lady called on Wednesday, and like I was literally putting my jacket on. It was about 1 o'clock out, but I'm like, you know what? I'm like, this will be my last thing. Nice. But long story short, she ended up yelling at me about an order that got messed up, and when I looked it up in our system, it never showed up. So I'm like, oh, hey, I'm like, this is what's going on. She's like, well, they placed it at this location. I'm like, well, this location being a different location. I'm like, what do you think I can do? I'm like, do you think I have access to other people's, like, systems? I'm like, she's like, no one's answering. I thought I would call over here. I'm like, lady, I'm like, I can't help you. She's like, I want to speak to your manager. I'm like, about what? I'm like, even if my manager was here, she won't be able to help you with a different store. I can't. I can't with people. I really, really can't. And then with a flat edge brush, and this is probably too big for what I'm about to do, but c'est la vie, I'm going to take just the shade Deeper, which is just black, and I'm going to do an eyeliner. But, ooh, I would deal with with my, oh god, I hate this. With my favorite bank teller, it's like, hey, I'm like, if you get lunch and you want cookies, I'm like, bring me lunch and I won't charge you for your cookies. So he saves money out of it because, you know, it's like $30 for cookies, so I saw him last Wednesday because I had to, you know, go up to the bank wild. I know. Also, I am going to clean this up, don't worry. But it's like, oh, he's like, what do you want for lunch? He's like, do you want lunch? I'm like, well, if you're going to get it, then yeah. He's like, what do you want? I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm like, just no zucchini, no beef, because like, my body will not handle it. My body hates me. Thinks I'm weak. So he got me a burrito from Chipotle, which would never be my first option, but when it's free food, I'm not going to complain. And it's funny, because I was like, he's like, oh, when I saw, because I went to the bank yesterday, before I opened, he's like, oh, do you want me to bring you lunch? I'm like, oh, I'm only here until 12. You don't take your lunch that earlier. I could have, which makes me so upset, because I'm like, I turned down perfectly nice free lunch, because I thought I wasn't going to be here. But no. Stupid Frank. But also, that's the thing about if I become MIT, is that I have to interview with the district people, and she can't just promote me internally. I'm like, that's stupid. Like, it makes sense, but like at the same time, it's stupid, and I hate it, and I don't want it. So, there's been issues on my line, train line, for the past few hours. They're like, oh my god, you know, trains are standing by because there's a report of smoke. And then, you know, service resumed, and then got a little delay again a short while ago, and now they're doing shuttle buses from the beginning of the stop to about a third to halfway there. I'm like, but, and I'm just gonna take a little of my cellar water like I usually do, just so I can clean this up a little. So I'm definitely gonna clean up underneath, because it didn't get as pointed as I wanted it to, but it's fine. And then I'm also gonna do a little bit of, yeah. And then do a little bit. Also, I always just use the Garnier one. I did get a bottle gifted to me. It's somewhere. I haven't even opened this. This is my second that I bought myself, and I also have a mini one in my travel case. I usually use the waterproof one, because even though the rest of my makeup isn't waterproof, the eyeliner that I use to do my brows is. So, it just helps it a lot more this way. I'm just gonna do a little. Alright, I need to find some lashes, but I should be back in a second. Alright, moving on to the base. I did not dilly-dally, I promise. This is from Paula's Choice. This is the Pro Collagen Peptide Plumping Moisturizer. Like always, was gifted. Like always, wouldn't keep using this. But, ooh, so, there's a perfume that I adore from Philosophy. It's called Fallen in Love. The first time I got it, it was like $12.99 at Marshalls, and it was on clearance, so I went, okay, say less. It was the 2-ounce one. It smells blue, and I know that's a weird way to describe something, but it makes sense. Like, I love to wear it when it's raining, no matter what time of year it is, but like primarily springtime. But it's like blackberry, jasmine, and vanilla, but I smell mostly blackberry and jasmine, which is why it smells kind of blue. And I ran out of it a month or two ago, and I'm like, I don't want to order it online because, you know, I paid this much. I don't want to pay the $67. Yeah, you heard me. It's either between 68 and 69, 67 and 69. So I'm like I have a mini one in my bag that I've been using, and I haven't thrown away the bottle. I'm just like, I've been checked even after I bought the bottle. Oh my god, this smells so nice. I've been checking Marshalls all the time. I did finally find it at Marshalls again. And then this is from NYX Professional Makeup. This is the Plump Right Back Serum Primer. The best part is, you know, I paid $19.99 for it. And I went, okay. I'm like, you know, considering the clearance price was $12.99. Not bad, not bad. And I get home, I'm like, wow, this bottle is like huge. So, turns out the bottle that I got is a 4-ounce bottle. And turns out the original price for that one is $108. And I paid $19.99. And then my mother wonders why I don't pull the trigger on Burberry perfumes when they're in the store. I'm like, they're they're like $80 to $90. I'm like, that's a standard, because it's usually I don't remember what ounce it is, but it's the one that's usually priced for $110. I'm like, no offense, that's just a standard coupon. I'm like, I need 70 or less to even consider getting it. Ugh. Just need to let this dry down a little because I am moist. And this is from L'Oreal Paris. This is the True Match Super Blendable Foundation. I'm not doing any color correction drops today because the name of the game is speed and efficiency, because it's 5:26. I kind of watched the Super Bowl, well, halftime performance. My brother's already watching the Super Bowl because he is sports ball. And the Patriots lost, so sucks for him. I don't care. I don't. Even though I'm from Massachusetts, I really don't care. So, you know, the halftime show is on. And I don't know anything about Bad Bunny or his music that much. But what I want to know, I mean, shout out Pedro Pascal. At least I got something out of it. Because, like, I did have my glasses on and I wasn't paying any attention. I'm like, is that Pedro? And I put my glasses on and I'm like, I know that jaw and that mustache anywhere. I just am so confused because Lady Gaga was there singing a song that she has with Bruno Mars. Meanwhile, Cardi B, who has a song with Bad Bunny, was just dancing in the back on the sidelines. I'm like, where's the logic? Again, I don't know anything. It's more of the fact, like if Lady Gaga was singing one of her songs, still weird, but okay. But singing a song that she has with Bruno Mars, an entirely different artist, I'm like, this feels not wrong, but it doesn't feel right. Also, it has been so busy the past few days at work, like, especially, it's been so busy. Especially on things that we don't usually sell a lot of either, and I'm like, girl, like, why? Whomst? House. And, turns out we open at 2 different times during the week and the weekend. We open an hour later on the weekend, but we're usually open longer, so they just push us back. Turns out we open at our usual time on Saturday and not our weekend time, which I found out because, you know, Saturdays, well, obviously, time of filming this, Valentine's Day has not happened. So, you know, we're opening at our usual time for Valentine's Day, and I'm like, you didn't think it would be a good idea to tell me this? Like, you know, my manager told me yesterday. Like, it's you and I on shift. Like, and also she's leaving me at 9 o'clock, so I only have an hour and a half to prep after the fact. But this is from Win Beauty by Serena Williams. This is the Soft Matte, this is the Nothing to See Soft Matte Creamy Concealer in Extend 45. And since this shade, whatchamacallit, foundation shade is a little dark, I'm gonna go a little. The past few times I've used this foundation, I've been using the drops, so they've been kind of counteracting the not right tone, no depth. But c'est la vie, we persist. But no, like on Saturday, I did double to triple what I usually do on a Saturday. I'm like, girl, and like it was busy all day. Same thing, like even Friday, which was really weird because Friday is usually our slowest day. Like obviously I was there yesterday and it was also very slow, but like during the week when I work, Friday is always the slowest day, even including Saturdays. I was so busy all week, and I have to go in early on Thursday too because there's 150 due for 11:30 between 3 different orders, and half of that is individually wrapped, so I'm like, I need to get all of that at least baked before I do anything for the store, because somebody ordered 50 cookies and then an additional 36. I hope they know that since the additional 36 was ordered as 6 packs and not 12 packs, they will be going into small boxes. I will not consolidate anything. Then there's 74 individually wrapped for a catering order, and then somebody did 5 or 6 12 packs for delivery of 12.15. So I'm like, and like half of it is just chocolate chunks. So I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna go in early, make sure all of that is baked before touching anything for the store. That way I can make sure everything's done, hopefully before we open. Because I don't like being early, but money. That was the only good additional thing about having to stay an extra 3 hours yesterday, is that I got more money, so yay. I almost started doing my cheeks before recording. Thank God I didn't, because I did that a few weeks ago and it bothers me still. I'm gonna go in with the Persona Cosmetics Bronze Multistick in the shade Mojave. Gonna do this and then tell you about my day today. I can't. I legitimately cannot. And then I'm gonna go in with the Milk Makeup Sculpt Stick in the shade Toasted. Yeah. I'm just gonna do a little wee, da, da. Oh, we do have Below Deck tonight. If someone will let us watch it. So, you know, since yesterday I worked, we didn't do our usual outings. My father's like, oh, we kind of need to go to Walmart looking for work boots. And we were like, you know what, we might as well go out, blah, blah, blah. We went out relatively early. Like a little before. I think we left the house at like 9:30. Because we were leaving Walmart at 10:30. And I was like, you know what? I'm like, Trader Joe's better have samples out. We've been out, they've had an hour and a half to get this done. Those samples weren't very good. They were like some sort of little rice cracker, but like sweet. I don't know. But you know, went to those 2 places, and my father jokingly was like, oh, we can go to the mall and see Bridget, who's been an Italian Greyhound, and she's been on the Pet Express website, and we've tried to go to see her a few times. She's never been out. So my father was like, oh, we could go. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. My mother's like, but you know, we went, she wasn't out. We went downstairs to look at in TJ Maxx. This is from Rhode. This is the Pocket Blush in the shade Sprinkle. And my father's like, obviously this is your decision. He's like, we can go back up and we can always ask to see if she's even there. Because apparently a few of the times that we had gone, she wasn't like, not old enough, but she wasn't ready to be out into the world, I guess. And my mother's like, she's like, and like, she was very dramatic about the whole thing, and my father and I were both like, well, you could have, A, not followed us back upstairs, B, been a grown adult and be like, no, this is not happening. So, you know, we go back up. The 2 dogs that love me, Luther and Walter, were still out. They loved me again. They were licking the glass as I was talking to them. But you know, my father went to the desk. He's like, hey, he's like, I saw on the website about these 2 Italian Greyhounds. One is named Bridget, but she's not out. You know, what's the deal? And they're like, oh my god, blah, 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 blah. So they brought her out. She's blue and white, so she's like that gray tone, while her brother is white and blue. He's mostly white, let's be honest. You know, we were talking and not quite playing with her, but like, they had her on the counter. We were doing a little, oh my god, hello, look at you, how cute. So we left the mall with a dog. And like both of them very recently, but like, I really miss having a dog, blah blah blah, and I'm like, that was my dog. And next I'm gonna go in with a light layer of powder blush from Kaleidos. This is the Mono Blush in the shade Ecstasy. It's a little more coral, but figured it at least set a little. And you know, like, the entire time I felt like I'm not trying to like be like, oh my god, hey, a dog, blah 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 blah. Because like, it would make you happy, and at this point, he's like, I just want to see a baby Italian Greyhound in real life. He's like, we haven't seen her the last few times. This is more just a spite mission. But you know, we got to see her, and then they brought her down into the, like, the little corral part, if you will, but like the little gated area. And we got a dog. This is from Fenty Beauty. This is the Demi Glow Light Diffusing Highlighter in Pretty Pearls. She was so expensive, I swear to god. It was also nice, and I'm like, I made the joke to my mother, I'm like, this is your birthday present, because she had to get a starter because she's an Italian Greyhound. They have no fur, no body fat really. So I made the joke, I'm like, I'll buy the sweater, this is your birthday present. I still have another gift for her, obviously, but like, $50 dog sweater, ridiculous. This is from Makeup Forever. This is the Artist Collie Pencil in the shade Anywhere Caffeine. So yeah, there's a Italian Greyhound downstairs right now. She's very, very cute. She's so delicate because she's an Italian Greyhound and their bones apparently aren't properly fused until they reach like a year, I think. So, oh Jesus, I need to fix this before I can continue. But yeah, she's so cute, and she's so small, and she is so warm, and she's been napping for the past, you know, hour and a half, which makes sense. She's a small dog. It's been a very big, exciting day. It's funny because my brother got home, and you know, he gets home, he's like, wow, there's a bag with a dog on it. He's like, huh, that's so great. He's like, I'd leave you people alone for 12 hours. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I knew you were gonna say that too. But also not to be insensitive, but apparently my grandmother's life insurance check came in, so that's also part of the only reason we got her. So at least something good came out of her death, question mark. And then this is from Covergirl. This is the Clean Fresh Yummy Gloss in the shade Twilight Beam. Hopefully this will go. Oh yeah, I think it will. But yeah, it's been a day. But I need to go fix my bangs, which shouldn't be too much of an issue because I washed them last night and I made sure to shape them and let them dry before I fell asleep, so they've been looking pretty okay all day. So the only thing that might mess them up is the indents. But I need to go fix my bangs and I should be back in a second. Alright, and this is the finished look. It's very, very simple, but I do like how it all came together. The last time I did this kind of eye, I did berry tones. I was also sick when I did it. I remember because I did the Bianco Latte perfume review. But I would also like to be known that the dog's full name, obviously I'm not going to call her by this second too, is Bridget Prosciutto McQueen. Because my father's making the joke, he's like, we can name her Bridgetto. And then he's like, oh my god, she can be Bridget McQueen because of Lightning McQueen. I'm like, well, and they're in a greyhound. She's an Italian greyhound, so like, she's like very sassy and like, gives fashion vibes, right? So Alexander McQueen. So, Bridget Prosciutto McQueen. I will put a picture of her, I promise. Again, she's very cute. She's getting comfortable, obviously. It's been a big day for her. But, do you like how the eyes came out? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. I had a different plan to do. I have 2 plans. My friend drew a little face stretch for me for 2 different looks. I'm like, I want them to be released same week. So like, one's a Tuesday, one's a Friday. Opposed to like, this one is going to go up on Friday. I didn't want the next one to be following Tuesday. I wanted it to be 1 week. That they just went out together, essentially. So, that will be a next week issue. A post-Valentine's Day issue, if you will.